Welcome back to the Daily Bible Breakdown. Today we're going to be covering Leviticus chapters 17 through 19. In chapter 17 we find some specific regulations for sacrifices. First of all, we're told that the animals were to be killed at the tabernacle and that the sacrifices were only to be offered at the tabernacle and nowhere else. And the reason for this is that it was preventing the Israelites from killing animals and then not offering those animals to the Lord. At this particular time, we've read that they were being fed manna from heaven. That sustained them. That's all that they needed. Also, the female domesticated animals that they had were far too valuable for milk and other dairy products, so it wouldn't make sense to kill them and eat from them regularly. If someone did desire to eat the meat of a domesticated animal, they would need to first offer them as fellowship offerings, which made sure that the priest would be taken care of, and then the remaining portion that was not being eaten by the one offering it would not then be offered to some pagan god. We also find in this chapter that blood was not to be eaten. We're told that the life of the flesh is in the blood. So why did God not want them eating the blood? I think there are a couple possible reasons. I think it honored the sanctity of life, since he says that the life of the flesh was actually in the blood, but also because blood had been designated by God as the means of their atonement, which made it sacred. It's important to note that there was no inherent atoning power in the blood of those animals, but again, because it had been chosen by God as the symbol of the spiritual reality of atonement and a symbol of the ultimate forgiveness that would one day come through Christ, that's most likely why they were to avoid eating it in that way. This principle is then applied to hunted animals. If they were to hunt and kill animals, the blood must be removed before that animal was eaten. In all of these cases that have just been addressed, the penalty was that they would be cut off from the people, which could mean that they would be banished from the camp or that God would actually destroy them for their disobedience. When we get to chapters 18 and 19, we find several laws concerning moral separation. This section technically continues through chapter 20, and there are a lot of different laws here that can be quite difficult to categorize. Let me read some of the verses we find here at the beginning of chapter 18. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan whither I bring you shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments, and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your God. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord. As we continue on, we find that the following verses outlaw specifically incestuous relationships, giving a number of very specific examples of relationships that would fall into that category. Verses 19 through 23 then outlaw a number of pagan sexual practices, including bestiality and homosexuality. This is an important passage for us to see what God thinks on some of these matters that are controversial to this day. A warning is then given in the final verses of that chapter, which tell us that God is removing the Canaanites, those who already dwelled in those lands, because of those specific abominations. And if the Israelites committed those same abominations, they would find themselves removed as well. And that would happen in the future. Chapter 19, verses 1 and 2, the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. This is a formulaic expression we see again and again, showing that a new section has begun. But we also see this frequent call to holiness. In this chapter, there are a number of various regulations concerning religious practices, neighbor relations, ethical treatment of others, including slaves, the elderly, and foreigners. And all of this is concluded with, I am the Lord. I'd encourage you to keep watching for that phrase as you continue reading, because it's showing that, again, God is relating all of this back to His identity and His holiness. Well, that's all the time we have for today's Daily Bible Breakdown. We'll see you in the next episode.